Hi all, this is Anil here. Yanzo is actually out of office and I'll be hosting for next few weeks.
Hey, good morning, Anil. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Jim. We'll wait for a couple more minutes and then we can get started. So this week, I think today the plan is to go over the voltage and current sensor monitoring PR by Cisco. Do we have anyone from Cisco to go over that?
Hi, Anil. This is Mridul here. Yeah, I'll be going over.
Okay, I'm Nitin.
Maybe.
Let's wait for another couple minutes and then we can get started once we have everyone on the bridge.
Sure. Let me know.
Sure. Thank you. Meanwhile, you can bring up the screen with the PR ready.
Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
And just to be sure, you're seeing the document, right?
Yeah, we can see it on the screen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's get started. It's 5 minutes over. Riddle, over to you. Thank you.
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Mridul Bajpayee and I'm from Cisco. So we are presenting an enhancement to the PMON, and it's for the main idea is that we want to extend the support for monitoring voltage and current sensor devices. The proposed solution also a little bit generic, so it should be easy to enhance for other sensors if required in the future. So I'll go over the document, and the PR has been out there for a couple of weeks, and there were some comments, and I have addressed those comments in the PR also. So the key idea is that there are Cisco platforms, and I'm sure other platforms also have these voltage and current sensor devices, and they come in different flavors. Some of them are very simple devices, and they just report voltage measurements. Other ones also have monitoring logic. They can be controlled as well. They can be margined, so you can increase or decrease the voltage for hardware testing purposes. And then the key thing is that, or at least what we wanted to do was to have a way in which we can not only view the measurements but also provide platform-specific thresholds, so we can raise alarms if the devices are reporting measurements which are out of spec. So that's the key idea, something similar to what thermal control D does today for temperature sensors. So we are not addressing temperature sensor devices. Um, the first solution is only for voltage and current sensor devices. In future, if there is a requirement to be more consistent, we could have the sensor reading part come from this mechanism. There was a comment as well as there was something that we had seen that Linux does provide an LM sensor HW1 infrastructure, which also does provide some support. The limitation that we observed was that the device support was limited. I have given some examples in the PR comments. Also, the alarm function is not, it doesn't provide a good alarm generation capability, especially if you want to provide thresholds from a platform point of view for if the sensors are reporting values which are out of range. So there are some limitations, and that's why we put this design and also kind of prototype the solution a little bit. So yeah, so the HLD basically covers this design. So what we are introducing is another daemon process in P1 that will discover the inventory of the sensor devices in the system, and also get from the platform, and using the platform APIs, it can find the thresholds that are there. The devices can basically, the rest of things is relatively simple. It will get an update of or a poll for the device measurements, and raise and clear alarms if the sensors go out of range. So there will be syslogs and alert events available for the network management system or an operator to take action on it. There is not an automated recovery action that the system that we have not covered and put in anything for something like an automated recovery action, but that job is left for the network management system, and that's kind of consistent in the way SONiC has been treating the hardware alarms from what we have observed so far. So this is the high-level design. There will be a sensor mode daemon. It will get from the platform APIs a list of sensor device types and APIs to read the information. It will require changes in three or four repositories. With the platform daemons, where most of the daemon code is there. The common code, which has some base classes defined, and some the SONiC utilities for the CLIs. The CLI enhancements are given examples of those, which is what we can report. So there will be like the name of the sensors, the measurement, and the threshold values. Whether there is a warning there in the system or not. At this point, there is no configuration requirement for the feature. There was a comment that we are if let's say if they don't want this functionality, they can always disable the daemon in the daemon control.json. If a particular platform does not want to use this way, and for some reason, if the LM sensor support is good enough for it, that can be done. But yeah, this is that function is there, but there is no other config requirement. Basically, it's an API-based design. So you can learn about the sensors from the system inventory, from the platform, and then enter the output. There is no impact on the fast food design, and there will be some, we'll be adding some SONiC management test cases so that we can simulate conditions for sensors going out of range. Then based on that, we can click on the alarms, make sure the measurements are reported correctly, and like that. So that's briefly the overview of this thing, the high level design. So it's a very simple daemon, but I think it covers a gap in SONiC with respect to including the coverage of the sensor monitoring to a larger set of devices. So that is that's about it. So if you have questions, you can go ahead, but I think that's the high level design.
Hey, thanks. Wondering if you walk through the HFD here with the audience. Sorry, I joined late.
Yeah, I was hi Rita. I was giving an overview of the feature. So yeah, I just went over. The HLD is pretty simple. So yeah, I talked with the audience. Basically, we are introducing a new daemon. We want to introduce a new daemon in PMON, and that will learn about the sensor inventory for voltage and current sensors. Then it will raise alarms on if the sensors cross threshold values.
I think since we have time and also actually most people probably did not read the document in advance, maybe you could read through it. Unless anyone has anything to discuss, bring up. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some comments. So definitely this is a good feature. It helps a lot for operator to basically know the status of those underlayer hardware sensors. And I have a question. Basically, does this kind of daemon has PI and PD part of separations? Platform independent and platform dependent
Yes.
codes?
Correct. Yeah. The feature will have a platform independent and dependent code. So I have listed down like the platform independent code will require changes in these 3 repositories. There will be a 4th one like the SONiC management test repository as well. But for the main feature, there will be one for the SONiC platform daemons, wherein it will have the body of the sensor mon. So we're calling the daemon as sensor mon. So it will have the body of that. And then its SONiC platform common will have a few, so some of the chassis, some of the base classes need some extensions. So that will be, that's one change in the SONiC platform common repo. And in the SONiC utilities, we are introducing 2 new CLIs. So that is there. The platform dependent part, yeah, is the implementation of the base class API for the sensors. So that would also be that will be the platform dependent part, in which and the platform will provide an inventory, will provide an API to get the sensor data and get the thresholds and tell how many types and how different types of sensors are there.
I see. Thank you.
Hey, do you mind to scroll down a little bit on the CR enhancement and also this new process? How do we monitor it yeah?
Yeah. So so I think that so basically this is it's providing 2 CLIs that I have presented here. So this will be a list of all the voltage sensors, show platform voltage and show platform current, which provide a list of all the current sensors, the actual measured values, and the thresholds if they are provided for the platform. Now, if you don't want to monitor, I think that's also possible, and you can provide certain threshold or a not applicable value, in which case it will not monitor the particular sensor. And this is where the warning will come if it's out of if it's out of the spec here. And if this is also a simulation prototype what we did for this feature, and it will generate for example, in this case, if there was
Is this a
sensor
platform
crosses certain
independent
threshold.
portion? This is log here. Like for example, if another
Yeah,
platform, it could just plug in. Yeah, but basically, would that be part of some platform API? This is log here.
correct. Yeah. So this will be a platform independent syslog.
Okay.
Yeah. So only the platform is going to provide the name of the sensor and the
Okay,
threshold
that's
and
good.
the current reading. So this will be.
And then the threshold, right? Sorry, I may not be too familiar. So maybe it could be different for different platforms. So there's already some way for people to enter what's considered high threshold. I mean, in the code.
Yeah. So when the platform provides, there is a call to. I'll have to bring out that PR, but if there is a call to get the number, like get the sensor data from the platform, and that will provide the thresholds. So the thresholds are provided by the platform itself.
Okay.
And it is similar to the way thermal control D does for temperature sensors also. So it gets an inventory of temperature sensors and the threshold value. So it's a similar kind of logic here.
Okay. Can you recap how do we monitor the new process daemon?
So
like
the
for
new
example, if
process
it
daemon
yeah.
is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the new process daemon will be so it's through the same supervisor control process in PMON, which will monitor the other ones. It will monitor the sensor one in a similar way. And then I did mention that if a certain platform does not want to implement this feature or does not want this daemon, then they can exclude it from the daemon control.json file also.
Okay. So maybe another question is, how do we test this feature? I mean, what kind of test will be added or is added?
So we will be adding some test cases to the SONiC management test suite. And they will basically ensure that first of all, the CLIs are reporting some data, and for example, the value reported is within the thresholds. And then there's a way we can simulate this as well. To simulate an alarm condition. So we can try to write a test case which simulates an alarm and generates a syslog.
Okay.
Hey, I have a question. There's a platform device driver framework, the PDF, that I think Broadcom contributed a while ago, which kind of allows platform vendors to define using a JSON file the ways to access the devices, right? Can the PDF be extended to support these kinds of sensors too? Was that considered, or can that be considered?
Yeah, so it was not considered, but yeah, I can look into that and see. You can add a comment on the PR and I will look into it.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Does that allow for monitoring of data, or is it for just device access?
Yeah, I think like normally for other things like fans and thermal sensors and stuff, you just kind of define the sensor name and what bus address or what bus to read the sensor value from. It kind of takes care of the rest. So it would be kind of nice to have this too, right? Like we have voltage and current sensors, just find the type of sensor, how to read it, and then that's it. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. So I think I have put in an API, and then API is to get sensors of the current time. For example, get all voltage sensors. And today I was expecting the platform. So for our prototype, what we did was we implemented that API in the platform code and returned all the data.
Right.
But yeah, we can provide another API which can just look at this PDF. If you provide a JSON file, and it can pull the data from there. So sounds like can be done.
Yeah.
I can take a look at it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
A quick question here. So have you considered putting all the data in the dedicated DB instead of mixing all the stuff in the state DB?
I had not considered that, but is there a particular reason we want them in a separate DB and not the state DB?
Maybe it's a more question to the audience, but still, I think that we are mixing stuff, like putting everything to the state DB, because originally it was designed for the networking stuff. And here we have all these sensor thresholds, all that information. Maybe it's a good idea and a good time to migrate everything which is related to the platform part to the dedicated DB, like EEPROM contents, sensor data, some cable information and stuff like that. It's just a question to discuss. Yeah.
Yeah, I had not considered it. To be honest, we are relatively newer to the SONiC, so if state DB was not intended for this purpose really, and others and all the data has been putting in there, then yeah, that's it. But on the flip side, what is the I want to know, like, what is the problem with that? Does the DB get too large, or does it affect other processes? Is that what you're worried about?
It's just for user convenience, so it will be like easy to search the relevant information, like accessing a dedicated database and not filtering all the stuff which is located in the state DB. You can just think about that. Yeah, just consider it like an option.
I'm wondering if other people have an opinion on this.
Wait, is there a DB section in this document? I didn't see it.
There is not. There was just that we said that the sensor devices will be populated in the state DB.
Oh, okay. That's all it says.
And basically thermal control D is also doing similar for the temperature sensors, and the chassis information, the board EEPROM information also, the implement of the state is also there in the state DB.
Okay, I see.
So Mridul, did you mention that once a platform has this in place for that platform, then that sensor D LM sensors won't be needed for that particular voltage and current?
Yeah, I think that I have mentioned it. You can keep the sensor D does provide a way whether you want to exclude the sensors from it. So I would think that if you're using sensor one, then you do want to monitor the voltages, and then you can exclude that particular sensor from the sensors, LM sensors infrastructure. do we have any other comments?
Yeah, there's one more comment for this one. So once the platform provides these features, is it possible to send the information out through gRPC or similar kind of mechanism?
Yes, I would say it should be.
That's okay. Yeah, I could probably can do that later. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look into the details of how you can get it, but the data is present in the DB, so it should be easy to get out. Take it from the DB and make it available via gRPC. But are you expecting a gRPC kind of API from the infrastructure itself?
Yeah, some kind of a mechanism to export it out those information to outside of the box.
Yeah. Okay. I have taken down the comment, so I'll look into it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no more comments from my side.
Do you
Right.
have any other comments?
Any other comments or feedback? Okay. Then do you have anything else to share?
There are I don't know. Do we? There are some draft PRs out. I don't necessarily want to go through them for the code, but I just want to know. Anil, is the procedure that for the code PRs do we attach it into the document or do we send it out separately? Like, what is the next step?
You attach them and send the PR out, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we do have a
I'll send
template. So yeah, so we actually do have a template. So when you raise the HLD pull request, so you need to specify a nice table with a list of the pull requests. It can be either in the draft mode or ready to be reviewed. Yeah, but it's very convenient to have all that PRs which are related to the particular feature be also specified in the HLD pull request. So it's easier to track and easy to review. Just a note, you can find some examples in the SONiC repo. Just check the closed pull requests with the other HLDs. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I'll basically edit it today and or latest by tomorrow, and I'll put the code PRs also out. I think the main PRs will be in these 3 repositories. So put 3, and then there'll be another one for the SONiC. Okay, Anil, so the main comments I got was for the to look into the platform development framework PDF, see if we can provide a plugin for that. And the second was how to get the information out via the gRPC API. I think that's about it. Is there any other action item, then please let me know, or add a comment to the PR and
Okay, all right, thank you. If there is nothing else, all right, then let's meet again next time.
I have one question. So we also have one PR pending down the road. It's kind of a purely PD type of PR. So yeah, we want to make sure. Typically, we don't know how to basically push it, move forward. The PR number is 14809. So we basically want to see how can we get it in time. Is any procedures to follow, expedite, or just normal kind of timelines of the community to approve certain PRs?
Send that email out to me, and I can take a look forward on that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Anil.
Yeah, Jim. Thank you. All right, if you don't have anything else, I think let's meet again next time. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
yeah.